The dead colony didn't scream. It simply stopped speaking. Theta 9's last transmission was a weather report: clear skies, mild winds, solar flare probabilities minimal. Then silence. Not a crash. Not a cry. Just absence. Commander Lyra Vance stood inside Terran High Command's secure chamber on Earth's lunar outpost, eyes fixed on the blank holofeed. "How long since we lost contact?" she asked. 17 hours, replied Admiral Rourke. "And that includes a probe we sent in after the blackout. It never returned." Lyra narrowed her eyes. "Who else knows?" "Only this room." Around her, 4 faces stared back: military, intelligence, diplomatic corps. No one offered guesses. They all knew what Theta 9 was: one of the farthest human colonies, peaceful, agricultural, insignificant from a military standpoint. Which made it the perfect target. Rourke leaned forward. "We believe it was the Zerozan conglomerate." "Believe?" Lyra's voice was sharp, controlled. "We intercepted energy signatures matching Zerozan heavy craft near the Theta Sector 2 days before the blackout. They denied it, of course." She turned. "Let me go. We're not at war." Lyra stepped closer. "We weren't at war with the Vorzak either. Until they wiped out Arc 7 and you made me turn their moon into glass. We're not repeating that." Rourke's jaw tensed. "Not yet." She looked at the others. No one spoke. Then, from the far end of the room, the Minister of Galactic Affairs finally raised his voice. "Commander Vance, we want you at the diplomatic summit on Helion 6. Zerozan delegates will be there." "Maybe." Lyra didn't laugh. She didn't have to. Helion 6 was a hollowed asteroid turned neutral ground. No weapons, no ships, just words. Lyra entered the summit chamber flanked by 2 aides. She wore the formal blue-black of the Terran Directorate, her insignia stripped of all flair, her demeanor unreadable. The Zerozan delegation was already seated. Tall, hairless, cloaked in ceremonial armor that did nothing to hide their disdain. High Executor Vornseth sat at their center. He smiled when he saw her. "Commander Vance," he said, voice slick. "A pleasure. I've studied your campaigns. Brutal. Efficient. Very human." "Executor," she replied, without a hint of warmth. The room settled. The diplomatic staff from 7 other species observed, silent. "I understand Earth lost contact with the colony," Vorn said casually. "Unfortunate. Solar flares, perhaps?" "Perhaps," Lyra said, sitting. "Though strange how flares don't vaporize underground bunkers." He raised an eyebrow. "Are you accusing the conglomerate of something?" "I'm stating facts. Your ships were seen near Theta 9. The colony is gone. You denied being there. That makes you liars, or murderers." Vorn chuckled, his fingers tapping the table's edge. "Careful, Commander. Baseless accusations spark wars." "Not accusations," Lyra said. She reached into her coat and placed a single chip on the table. A Terran aide activated the feed. Holograms lit the room, grainy security footage, blurred by interference but clear enough. Zerozan soldiers dragging civilians, structures on fire, children hiding in greenhouses. The last frame, static. The room fell silent. Vorn's smile twitched but didn't vanish. "Propaganda. Easily fabricated. You're welcome to verify it," Lyra said. The minister leaned forward. "Executor, can you explain?" Vorn waved a dismissive hand. "If we acted, it was to protect galactic order. The Terran reach expands unchecked. We are ensuring balance." Lyra stood. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't threaten. She simply said, "You know why the Vorzak no longer exist?" Vorn didn't answer. "They razed 2 of our colonies. Laughed about it. Then watched their sun implode after our retaliation, engineered, precise, silent. We didn't warn them. We didn't negotiate. We buried them and moved on. Are you threatening us now?" Lyra looked down at the holodeble, at the data still playing. "I'm reminding you. Every empire that crossed us thought they were too big to fall. Vorn's expression shifted, less smug now, more calculating. The Directorate wants peace, of course, Lyra continued. But peace doesn't mean blindness. If we find one more scrap of evidence, one more vanished colony, you won't have time to beg for diplomacy. She turned and left the chamber. Back aboard her transport, Lyra received the message she was expecting. Top secret, hold position. Await council decision. No retaliation without express authorization. She deleted it without blinking. In the quiet of her private quarters, she replayed Theta 9's last ping. A clean signal. No panic. No alarm. Just life, as it was before it wasn't. She whispered to the dark. They always underestimate the silence. Outside the viewport, Earth rotated slowly in the distance. She tapped her comm. Patch into Ghost Flotilla Command. Prep TDS Vengeance. Full stealth. No comms. No signature. Commander? The officer asked. Do we have orders? We do now. She shut the line and stood. Before departure, she walked through the underground memorial garden beneath Lunar Command. Marble tiles stretched out in long, quiet rows. Each one etched with a name, a colony, a date. Lyra paused at a new tile. Theta 9 Colony. EST 2847, Lost 2925. Population, 11,342. Status, unconfirmed. No names yet. Just numbers. Just loss. She reached into her coat and removed a single item, a pendant. It was ceramic, hand-painted. A child's trinket. Recovered from orbit. She placed it gently on the tile and whispered. They'll remember you. But they'll forget the ones who made you disappear. As the TDS Vengeance slipped into the dark, cloak engaged, no fanfare followed. No broadcasts. No trumpet of war. Just a shadow moving through starlight. And far behind, on a planet not yet aware of what it had provoked, a leader named Vorn Zeth resumed his plans, believing, like all the others before him, that humanity's silence meant surrender. It didn't. It meant sentencing. The void welcomed them like a predator waiting to pounce. Lyra Vance stood alone in the darkened command center of the TDS Vengeance, the flagship of Earth's Ghost Flotilla. Outside, a silent starfield stretched over the edge of Zerozan territory, unguarded, unbothered, until now. Below her, the command crew waited. No one spoke unless necessary. Ghost Flotilla protocol demanded it. In this unit, silence wasn't absence, it was readiness. Drop stealth in 5 seconds, Harmon whispered. Coordinates locked. Relay target markers to Fleet Shadow. Lyra didn't look away from the main display. Do it. One by one, Terran ships peeled back their cloaks, materializing in black ink around Zerozan Relay Station 9. A vast comms hub, bristling with towers, it connected 5 surrounding sectors. If the Zerozan were building something or hiding plans, it was stored here. Still no enemy reaction, said Ops Tech Avellini. They didn't see us coming. They never do, Lyra murmured. They hit the station in seconds. No bombardment. No loud declarations. The Vengeance's neural insertion team deployed through vacuum-tethered tubes, slicing through outer panels like scalpels on old flesh. The relay's internal defenses tried to mount resistance, mech turrets, defense drones, but they were late, confused, sluggish. Inside the mainframe chamber, Lyra moved with her team, pulse rifle slung but untouched. Their mission wasn't to kill. It was to listen. She knelt beside the data core and inserted the decryption spike. The system fought back. Then surrendered. Streams of encrypted orders, logs, and intercepted messages cascaded across her visor. She filtered through propaganda, then found it. Operation No Harvest, Stage 3, complete evacuation and erasure of Terran colonies Theta 7, Theta 9, Theta 11. All non-compliant populations marked for resource reduction. She froze. 3 colonies. Populations 6,500. 8,100. 11,000. All gone. Not just invaded, removed. Pull everything, she said quietly. All levels. Tag and upload. As they moved, her comm buzzed. Commander. Harmon's voice crackled. We've intercepted a transmission headed for Razuin. They know we're here. Let them, she replied. But disable the relay before we leave. No cries for help. Later, aboard the Vengeance, Lyra studied the stolen data in her quarters. Her eyes burned, but she didn't blink. A name kept appearing. Admiral Rex Sylvan, commanding the assault fleet responsible for the Theta exterminations. His location, orbiting a refueling depot at the edge of the expanse. She tapped her comms. Prep a raid team. We're taking him alive. The depot was poorly defended. Sylvan never expected visitors from the dark. Lyra's squad breached the Admiral's quarters while he slept. By the time he woke, his limbs were magnetically bound to the cold floor of the Vengeance's interrogation cell. He blinked blearily, his 4 eyes focusing on her face. You're the Terran, he croaked, voice hoarse. The one they warned us about. I'm no warning, she replied. I'm the follow-through. He chuckled, bitter, tired. You're here for revenge. No, she said. I'm here for confirmation. She activated the holographic feed. Images flickered, burning settlements, crying children, silent streets. He turned his head. You watched them die, she said. Not soldiers. Not rebels. Farmers. Scientists. Infants. They were yours, he muttered. And yours are dangerous. You justify genocide with fear? With history. Lyra stepped closer. So do I. She slid a small black case across the table and opened it. Inside, a single data shard, marked with Earth's emblem. The last log from Theta 9. Extracted from a scavenged escape pod. She pressed play. The room filled with a young voice. Shaky. Breathing hard. My name is Elena Voss. I'm hiding in a vent. I don't know if anyone's out there. They killed my dad. He told me to stay quiet. They're burning the schools. Please, someone hear me. Silence. Sylvan's gaze dropped. She was 8, Lyra said. She didn't make it. He didn't reply. Didn't beg. Just closed his eyes. You'll be transported to Earth, she said flatly. You'll testify. You won't kill me? He asked. No, she replied. You'll live long enough to see your empire collapse. Hours later, Lyra stood before her senior officers. We've confirmed that Zerozan leadership is fast-tracking planetary purges of human settlements in fringe sectors, she said. They're calling it a cleansing cycle. Gasps. Muted oaths. I've uploaded a priority protocol. Effective immediately, Ghost Flotilla is no longer under fleet standby. We're moving. Orders from Earth? Captain Rivas asked. Lyra shook her head. No. From me. There was silence. Then a murmur of agreement. We begin with silent disruption, she said. Relay stations, supply depots, fuel chains. No grand battles. Just disappearance. When they come looking, they'll find nothing left to fight with. Rivas finished. She nodded. Exactly. That night, alone in her quarters, Lyra replayed the girl's message. She'd watched it 10 times already. Every time, it ended the same, the breathless pause, the faint sob. This time, she didn't stop the recording. After the final whisper, there was more. A soft thud. A distant shout. Then static. Then nothing. Lyra leaned back in her chair. For a long time, she stared at the ceiling. She didn't cry. That part of her was gone. But she remembered. The next morning, across 3 sectors, Zerozan installations began to fail. Docking clamps disengaged on their own. Refineries overpressurized. Communications blinked into dead air. And everywhere, the same symbol appeared. Not a threat. Not a demand. Just the old Earth sigil. A planet cradled in iron wings. A reminder. Inside the command bridge, Harmon turned to her. Commander, incoming transmissions. Scrambled, scattered. The Zerozan are trying to understand what's happening. They won't, she said. Not until it's too late. She watched as the star map filled with Terran pings, silent, precise, lethal. This isn't war, she said. This is memory. He looked confused. She smiled, just faintly. They forgot who we were. We're helping them remember. The bridge of the TDS Vengeance was quiet. No alarms. No frantic commands. Just the hum of victory vibrating through the hull. Commander Lyra Vance stood at the central command dais, hands behind her back, eyes locked on the main display. The Zerozan capital, planet Razuin, hovered on screen. A massive orb of fire and steel, its skies choked with defense grids and war factories. Orbiting above, 23 Terran warships waited like wolves in a frozen forest. Not a single one had fired. Not yet. Status, she said. Zerozan fleet paralyzed. Shield net is down. Bunkers sealed. Civilian chatter is escalating, replied Lieutenant Harmon, scanning feeds. We're in full control of orbit. Lyra nodded. Patch me through to Executor Vorn. Personal frequency. A pause. Then, confirmed. He's accepting. The screen changed. Vorn Zeth appeared, seated behind a command desk, bathed in blood-red lighting. His pale green skin glistened with sweat. Behind him, distant alarms pulsed, useless noise in a silenced war. You trespass, he sneered. This is aggression. This is unlawful. No, Lyra said flatly. This is restraint. Vorn leaned forward. You think hovering above our world makes you superior? You haven't dropped a single kinetic strike. You haven't won. I don't need to. Lyra motioned to her comms officer. On cue, the screen split into 3 sections. Real-time footage streamed from across the galaxy. Sector Theta, entire Zerozan fleet depots, offline. The Midrim Gate, Terran ships surrounding the wormhole relay, cutting off travel. And the outer colonies of the Zerozan conglomerate? Already rising in revolt. Civilians waving white banners. Broadcasting surrender pleas directly to Earth's directorate. Your empire, Lyra said quietly, was never a threat. Just another screen waiting to happen. Vorn's lips curled into a bitter snarl. You use fear like the empires you claim to bury. Do you not see the irony? No irony, she replied. Just math. You attacked first. We calculated the end before your first missile launched. She took a step forward. Not toward him, but toward the edge of patience. This wasn't revenge. This was containment. 15 hours earlier, she had led the infiltration unit herself. Dressed in dark matte armor, her squad dropped into Razuin's primary orbital shipyard through a maintenance shaft. The interior stank of burned oil and dying ambition. Thousands of drones and engineers fled as they passed, no weapons drawn, no resistance. They reached the control core within 9 minutes. Lyra accessed the override panel and shut down every engine ignition across the orbital ring. I don't want to kill them, she had told her squad. I want them to realize they were never in control. That realization had come in waves. First silence. Then static. Then panic. On the bridge again, Vorn was breathing heavier now. His bravado slipping. We're not finished, he spat. Others will come. We are not alone in this galaxy. Lyra tilted her head. They always say that. The Krell said it. The Vorzak said it. The Daraxis choir practically sang it. She leaned in closer to the camera. Where are they now? A long, heavy pause. We didn't come here to conquer you, she continued. But you touched our people. You erased our colony without provocation. You thought we would plead for peace. We expected logic, he said. And we gave you consequence. She tapped a control on her console. The comlink expanded, now streaming to every major broadcast tower on Razuin. "This is Commander Lyra Vance of the Terran Directorate," she said calmly, her voice now heard by billions. "We will not bomb your cities. We will not enslave your kind. But your leadership has made a choice, a final one." She stepped aside, revealing the data log behind her. The footage played, Zerozan troops laughing as they executed unarmed Terran farmers. Children hiding in cellars. The last breath of a young girl whispering for her mother on a cold transmission. "This is why you are being dismantled, not exterminated. You will live to remember. But you will not rise again." She cut the feed. Hours passed. Then something unexpected. Civilian vessels began launching. Unarmed, broadcasting surrender. Within minutes, entire battalions turned off their comms and dropped weapons. Vorn's chain of command disintegrated, cell by cell, city by city. A junior Zerozan lieutenant sent a direct message to the Terran fleet. "The people never wanted this. We surrender. Please show us what restraint looks like." Lyra stood alone in her quarters when the final notice came. Vorn Zeth was captured, not by her soldiers, but by his own council. Bound in energy chains, he was paraded through the capital by civilians before being locked away in an underground tribunal vault. Her orders were clear. No assassinations. No public executions. Only silence. The final meeting was held via secure link to Earth. The Directorate Council spoke from shadowed terminals. No applause. No praise. Just one simple sentence. "The galaxy will remember." Again. Lyra didn't reply. She walked to the observation deck and looked out at Razwin one last time. The planet, so proud, now sat beneath a sky filled not with fire, but stars. Her comms pinged. A message from Earth. Simple. Clean. Return home. As her ship began its slow drift away from the fallen empire, Lyra spoke quietly, more to herself than to her crew. Every extinct empire had one thing in common. She let the words linger. They forgot who we were. And we reminded them. The vengeance disappeared into slip space. Behind it, 1,000 fires died without ever being lit. And the galaxy, once again, learned that humanity doesn't roar. It waits. And then it ends you.